question 6a, part 1. On the same axis, sketch the graph of the curves with equations, part 1 and part 2. Okay, so we got two equations. One is cubic and one is quadratic. This cubic equation can be written as x cubed minus 2x squared, and the quadratic will be 6x minus x squared. And in order to solve them, to get the roots, we have to equate it to 0 and equate it to 0. So that's what I'm going to do next. So the first equation is y equals to x squared into bracket x minus 2. And if I equate that to 0, I can get x squared equal to 0, which implies that x equals to 0 twice. The reason why it's equal to 0 twice is because the exponent is 2 here. Now, that's that one. I'm going to set that to 0, so that'll be x minus 2 equal to 0, which implies x equals 2. So that's the other root. So the cubic has now got 3 roots, 1, 2, and 3. Now let's look at the quadratic. So for the quadratic, if we go back here, I can see that that's x into bracket 6 minus x. So I'm going to go y equals x into bracket 6 minus x. Therefore, we set it to 0, and that means x equal to 0. That one is set to 0, and this is also set to 0. So I've got 6 minus x equal to 0. Therefore, 6 equals to x. So I've got 2 roots for that one. So the 2 roots. The quadratic will have a turning point. Likewise, the cubic has a turning point. Let's just look at the quadratic turning point. The quadratic turning point will be at x equals minus b over 2a, which is, now I know the equation I've got here. B is 6 and a is minus 1. So I'm going to put it here, minus b, which is 6, over a is minus 1, so 2 into bracket minus 1, and that gives minus 6 over minus 2, and that becomes 3. So when x is 3, what is y? Y will be, put it back in there, that would be 3 into bracket 6 minus 3, and that gives 9. When x is 3, y is 9. So those are these points now we're going to be using. What's the next one I'd like to look at? The question is also referring to when the part B is saying, use the graph to find the coordinates of the point where the graph intercepts. So that's actually very important, because where the graph intercepts, part B, will be where x squared into bracket minus x minus 2 equal to 0. Let's use different color here. And therefore, not equal to 0, rather equal to x into bracket 6 minus x. So that's where they will equal. X will cancel x, so I'm going to get x into bracket 2 x minus 2 and equals 6 minus x. So that will be x squared minus 2x plus x minus 6 equal to 0. So I expanded, and then I move the right hand side to the left. So I get x squared minus x minus 6 equal to 0. If I factorize that, I will get, I'm going to factorize this, so I'm going to get x squared. Do I have more room here? Nope. So I get x squared minus. So I'm going to use 3x minus plus 2x minus 6 equal to 0. Now x is common here, so I get x into bracket x minus 3 plus 2 is common, so I get 2 to bracket x minus 3, that equal to 0. So the common factors are x. Let's just write that clearly. The common factors are these two here, as was left, x plus 2, and this one here, that's x minus 3. And therefore, the whole, where they intercept is going to be x equals minus 2, x equals 3, because we set them to 0. Now, so we've got a lot of information now. So now we can sketch graph. So I've got the coordinates for the graphs now, so let's go and sketch this graph. Also, what I need is the value of y where they met. We already know what y is here. Y equals 9. But when x is minus 2, so we can use any of the equation. When x is minus 2, what is y? So I have got, I'm going to use minus 2 into bracket 6 plus 2, and that will be 8. 6, x is minus 2, so 6 plus 2, because I'm using this one here. So 6 plus 2, and that's 8. 8 times 2, 8 times minus 2 is 16. 8 times minus 2 is minus 16. So y will be minus 16. I could try it for this one as well. So if I put minus 2 there, minus 2 squared will be, minus 2 squared is 4, and minus 2, and if I put minus 2 here, I'm going to get times minus 4. That's minus 16 as well. So, and I know the values now, so what I'm going to do is use that to plot the graphs. So let's try and sketch the graph. So I've got a graph here, and just do a line here. So what I'm looking for are the points 0. So the first point, that one, that's the cubic. So let's just draw the cubic first. Cubic are 0, 2 of them there, and this is 1, 2. So let's put that here, because cubic is 0 and minus 2 and 2. The next one is, so the next one I need are the quadratic. Quadratic has 0 and 6. X is 6. Right, so let's use that for quadratic. 0 for quadratic, and 2, 4, 6. So that's quadratic there, and 0. That's quadratic there. And now where they intercept, so let's look at where they intercept. Where they intercept, x is 3, y is 9. So they intercept at x is 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So x is 3, y is 9. So let's use this as, so that's, I'm going to use this as 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So that's minus 5, minus 10, minus 15, minus 20, minus 25. So when x is 3, y is 9, x is 3 there, y is 9. So if I put here, that's the point there. It's just a rough estimate. So that's for the interception between cubic and quadratic. X is 3, y is 9. X is minus 2, y is minus 16. X is minus 2, so that's minus 2 here, y is minus 16. So minus 2 here, minus 5, 10, 15, so 16 there. So that's another point for the interception. So that means my cubic will go through there as well, and my quadratic will go through there. So now it's easy to sketch the curve. So I'm going to sketch this lovely curve. So for the quadratic, let's use the green. So quadratic we go has and the turning point of quadratic is there, so it's going through that, and the turning point is there, and it's going through there. So that's the quadratic, right? And the cubic, interestingly, the cubic is gonna go through these as well, but the cubic has a U here, a turning point there, and it will go there, and then we go there. So the cubic is going to go here and go there. That's it. So the green is quadratic and the red is cubic. Right, labeling the axis, y, and that's your x-axis. The equation of the x-axis is y equal to 0, and the equation of the y-axis is x equal to 0. And the curve here, the red one, is x squared into bracket 6x minus 2 equals y. That's the cubic. And the green one is x into bracket 6 minus x.